Liverpool fan in Japan.
Hello YouTube, Liverpool fan in Japan here, the Miyazaki man Sai. Did you hear what Arne Slot said? They are already preparing to do transfer business in the summer, working on strengthening the squad in the summer. Now, I know the first transfer window was quiet, as was the second one, but I told you, I predicted it from the very start. When Arne Slot came in, when Richard Hughes came in, I said the first transfer window isn't going to be monumental. The reason is he wants to see the attributes of the players, how they react on the pitch in person to his training methods, where they can pick it up promptly, where they can deliver on the pitch, and when push comes to shove in crunch time, whether they can deliver. And that also puts precedence to why the January transfer window would be opportunistic. If there was a player that they had to sign now, otherwise he'd move on. Think Lucho Diaz to Tottenham, think Cody Gakpo to Man United. If they had to sign him or miss out on them completely, they would do it. Then again, if there's a wonder kid or hot prospect or someone on the transfer target list that was going for a reasonable price, they had to do it. But now the Arne Slot has put Liverpool on the cusp of winning greatness, winning titles in this particular season. He said it himself, this squad is immensely strong. It's going to take a special talent to break into the starting lineup and to change his ways of thinking. He is happy with the squad. Richard Hughes is happy with the squad. Most Liverpool fans should be happy with the squad because look, on merit, we're top of the Champions League. We finished top of the Premier League on merit. We got the best form. We've got the best manager. We've got the best squad in terms of balance as well. You look at the other signings, right? Only Manchester City are really doing signings. Why? Because could it be that because of the financial penalties potentially coming in, points deductions, relegations, whatnot, bans in the transfer window, they have to do their business now, a la what Chelsea tried to do previously. Look at Chelsea's transfer business. Renato Vega potentially out on loan, calling back a player from Crystal Palace as well, Chalobah. Not many clubs are doing much business in January, to be honest. Mathis Tells from Bayern Munich, a lot of clubs are interested in him. Wonder kid, prospect, 19 years old as well. But look at all these players. Even Omar Mamouche, how much does he really improve Liverpool's lineup? Liverpool have the best striking options in the Premier League, if not Europe. Now, that's a big ask considering Vinicius Jr., Mbappe, la-di-da. You know, Barcelona are decent. Real Madrid are decent as well. Bayern Munich are okay, decent. However, goals scored, offensive prowess, attributes and options. When you have Nunes, Lucho Diaz, Gakpo, Jota, even Harvey Elliott and Chiesa, you're pretty much fulfilled in every single tactical variation option that Arne Slot wants. You're only looking at personnel now and names, potentially injuries, records and form as well. That's where you have the comparison with Nunes, who offers a different attribute, even though he's third choice, one of the best third choice strikers in world football. But no one else does what he does. Jota, perennially injured, but our best finisher. You don't have to rely on one of them. That's the key thing. You don't have to rely on Federico Chiesa. And I said that at the start. He had no preseason. He was isolated and left out in the cold by Juventus. But an opportunistic signing to get him in with his attributes. And now you're seeing the fruits of his hard work, his adjusting to Liverpool, his adjusting to Slot's tactics. Slot played him against PSV. He looked like a man amongst boys, right? And that interview, I told you, don't listen to the media pundits. Oh, he's homesick. He's not playing. There must be a bad reason. Let's look for little cracks in the harmonious unit that is Liverpool. There must be a reason that Chiesa's not playing. He's not up to it. He's an injury sick note. He's not skillful. He's lost it. He's way past his best. Trade him off back to Italy. Let's do some nonsensical trading of players, which never happens and never works out well. Eto'o, Zlatan Ibrahimovic crossing into Milan, Barcelona. Transfers of that nature never happen. They're always done individually and they never work out well either. Chiesa mentioned he's happy at Liverpool. He wants to stay at Liverpool. Liverpool is a glorious title-hunting club, top caliber. He wants to make an impact. I love Chiesa's smile. He's making an impact. His quality, he's direct. Just get the ball, go through to goal, make an assist, shoot, score, whatever. Direct. A little bit different than Lucho Diaz, who decision-making is questionable, but he has attributes that's very effective. He's a workhorse. He's an overall competent quality player as well. That's what you love about this squad. Competency and quality. And speaking of competency, so many doubters and detractors of Richard Hughes, right? Slick Rick. I ain't no Rick Parry ignoring transfer calls and going on holiday at the start of transfer window. I ain't no Rick Parry in the suit coming in. This ain't Bournemouth, bruv. What's he doing? He ain't done anything. He's been laying back, sipping his little mocktails, mocha chocolate or whatever, and doing nothing, sitting hands on his ass. Bring back Michael Edwards. I'll put it to you that Richard Hughes is actually best in class and the top performing director of football in world football in the last 2-3 years, right? You look at the squad that he built at Bournemouth and the fruits of his labour and the success that they're having now in the performance. Look at the coaching turnover that he's managed to bring in. Arne Slot under Richard Hughes and Michael Edwards into Liverpool. And Donny Iraola, who I always thought would be a success because he's a tactical specimen in terms of when he played at right back, right? Bilbao, was it? He was a thinking man's player, a tactical player, very clever, very game intelligent. You could tell he'd go into coaching like Xabi Alonso back in the day as well. I said that they'd do good things. So far, on the money, Richard Hughes has planted the success in both clubs he's been with. Now, the good thing about Hughesy that most people underestimate is Michael Edwards and Klopp's relationship was good, but not great. Okay, they had their own ideas. Obviously, the contract renewal for Henderson, and he's shown his colours now, trying to bully and blackmail Ajax into not playing for them again so he can get his tax-free money to Monaco. Oh, Hendo's legacy. He was a quality Liverpool captain, but yeah, enough about that. If you look at Richard Hughes' performance over the last 2-3 seasons, doesn't matter whether your name's Monchi, Herbal, or Paul Mitchell, or Zorc, or Leonardo, or Dan Ashworth, for example. Maybe George Schmatka. Big up, George. Or any other director of football. Nobody has outperformed him in transfers out in terms of fees obtained for his particular player. I mean, just look at the list. Nobody's outperformed him in terms of manager turnover as well. Dumping an okay performing Gary O'Neill for Andoni Iraola, replacing the one only legend, maestro, the Bill Shankly of the modern day, Jurgen Klopp, seamlessly with Bob Paisley of the modern day, shiny one, up the shiny one. Arne Slot.
Cream of the crop!
He's got a great network and connections, especially across Europe. He's very calm, but the thing is, unlike Edwards and Klopp, who had a working relationship, it seems as though Hughes and Slot are very close. They're like that. They talk every single day. And the fact that Slot says we're going to look at strengthening in the summer, and you par that and tally that with the fact that he also said that it's incredibly hard to get into this Liverpool team, and it is incredibly hard to get into the Liverpool team. If you watch my Salesforce transfer database, you could tell an opportunistic signing in January, only 1 or 2 players could make an instant impact to this particular season. And it's this season that you'd get the player in January for an overinflated fee. But the fact that we're not looking like doing that means that we have the entirety of the transfer kitty, the war chest, and the £80 million revenue from topping the Champions League to go into the summer budget. Goodness gracious, look at this. If Liverpool fans, some of them by the way, had their way, we would have ended up with a perennial sick note right here. Very limited halfback. Inacio is not good enough. Diamande positionally so questionable, and he's right-sided as well. What was that transfer video saying? Replace Virgil van Dijk, he's right-sided. Manu Kone dropped off the radar. Andre Trindade, the mythical number 6 replacement. Our new number 6, forget Graham Burke, is Andre Trindade. What an impact he's made in the Premier League. Mateus Nunes, waste of money for Manchester City. Kefren Turam, absolutely son of a legend. It could be Marcus Thuram as well. He's doing good things for Inter Milan, but it's not good enough for Liverpool. Max Bayer, he's German. Of course, Klopp is looking at him. Adeyemi, so inconsistent. Daniel Malin, I didn't even put Malin on here. Oh, Bakayoko, he says he's good enough for Liverpool. Still a prospect, could still make it. Gabriel Vega is doing something in Saudi Arabia now, right? My goodness, look at, we've blown our whole budget instead of being able to sign that 1 or 2 super world-class players. Average everywhere. I mean, he'd be a good option for his pace, but he's sick now at the moment. He's needs to kink out all those mistakes in his game. He's not good enough. He can't play back 4. Long pass, decent. That's about it. Solid, but limited player. Dropped off the face. Absolutely limited Premier League player. Not making an impact. Kefren Turam, decent, but physically able. But you're talking about another kind of Sissoko type player, Musa Sissoko type player. Technically capable. Doesn't take the game by scruff and neck. Hot and cold. Could make good things, but away in Saudi Arabia, so inconsistent. Still a youth prospect. Could come good. Not good enough for Liverpool. Now, people may say renewing Virgil van Dijk, renewing Mo Salah, renewing Trent Alexander-Arnold will take a big chunk, and it really would, because signing on fees, clauses, wage rises, amortized over the length of the contract, 3 years or 5 years or 6 years in terms of Trent, isn't cheap. But savings upon savings, and already having done the business and committed to a Chiesa opportunistic signing, great value for money, going to have great return of interest as well, for the fact that pennies for that quality and caliber of player. And we're going to really see him in the second half of the season. I knew it. I told you that when we signed him as well. Be patient with Chiesa. He will show good things. In the second half of the season, Endo, Chiesa, Harvey Elliott are the big game players that will make a difference that didn't really contribute in the first half of the season, right? And Endo is being trusted more with the minutes. Harvey Elliott is showing what he's made of. Composure to help Darwin Núñez get the brace as well. 2 assists. And Chiesa showing great things as well, right? And the youngsters coming into the fore. Mamash Davili, Hot and cold at Valencia, a Valencia team who are crumbling. They are massively off form, underperforming, under par. Great shot stopper, might need to work on his footwork. He's not bad at footwork, his coach has said, but he's not absolutely maybe at that level of Alisson Beck at the moment. But look, he's an investment for the future. He's young and he's of the right profile as well and highly regarded. Okay, and we still have Kelleher, yet to be decided ultimately what his future is. But that transfer kitty, I know people are saying, oh, FSG are tight, FSG are skint. John W. Henry does not want to commit to big money signings, big game signings. We play Moneyball and all of that when they were Nesby, New England Sports Ventures. Now it's FSG, Fenway Sports Group, right? Even the LeBron influence here isn't getting the big money signings over the line. However, FSG do not need to sign things off anymore. Michael Edwards is now global head of football. And if you look for a framework of people who are the most aligned to Liverpool in the right positions, right? It's not Mike Gordon. It's Michael Edwards who's overseen our most successful period. And he is the one calling the shots and signing off on behalf of FSG now. And you have Julian Ward in a prominent role, technical director in the background. And you have Richard Hughes handpicked by Michael Edwards and FSG to run footballing matters day to day at Liverpool specifically, right? Bournemouth are getting the fruits of his labour and they're built for sustained success and on the rise and a successful era, right? Brentford and Bournemouth are both doing magnificent things. They are the shining example, not your Man Uniteds, not your Tottenhams. Them two are outperforming the charts by far, as are Liverpool on the resources. And if you were to say to any person with a shred of common sense around business, around successful operations and organization, you'd look at getting the most success for the best value of money. Okay. If you left it up to the fans, and most fans are pretty level-headed and understanding and intelligent. I will say though, some Liverpool fans, I mean, there is a subsector of Liverpool fans that are proper thick. And I say that in the nicest way because it's none of you guys, because obviously you're watching my channel, but also it's not the YouTube Liverpool fans who, in general, although passionate, have an inkling of common sense and can understand when concepts and proof and facts are thrown their way, right? Building for a sustainable future. A lot of those false transfer Facebook groups, I'm talking about those ones in particular who, for whatever reason, show up on my feed sometime. Those are the most nonsensical ones, the ones where they Photoshop Mbappe's head in a Liverpool outfit and said he's guaranteed to come. Those are Photoshop Bellingham on a Liverpool kit. Those are Photoshop all left backs and say, Liverpool signed a left back in January, we're guaranteed to win the league. Even Carragher said, sign a left back and we're guaranteed to win the league. I've disproven that already. Left backs won't make an impact. And not only that, even if you do sign a left back, Slot won't play them. They need to be tactically up to speed, technically up to speed, build a relationship with the player, be trusted, known the ins and outs of the preferences of the Liverpool player. Does Lucho Diaz wanted the back foot to the front foot, in the gap, in the half space, all that kind of stuff. You need to build and build and build on it in training, build a relationship on and off the pitch as well, which is why Arne Slot will persist with Tsimikas and Robertson, at least until the summertime, in which case it'll be interesting to see how we approach our transfer business. I think a young left back is probably on the cards. Now, people want a defensive midfielder, but I would argue it's not about the position. It's about the attributes. And I've always said it. Take away the name, take away the face value, right? It's about the attributes that they offer to the squad. And I think Arne Slot was always wanted a controller. But saying that, Tyler Morton is a controller. James McConnell in the PSV showing has shown himself to be able to be a controller as well. Very impressed and not going out on loan. He's being kept now, retained for the squad. Okay. Wataru Endo is a destroyer and a presser with leadership qualities in the midfield. Great mentality. You need a player like Wataru Endo in the squad as well. And obviously, I don't think he'll leave either, because why would you set up a pre-season in Japan, the lucrative pre-season, which is towards the end of the season, prepping them for the season in the transfer window? If you're going to sell Endo, you're literally like a double-edged sword, cutting yourself to spite your throat and your neck or whatever. He stays, okay? Because utility player, very valuable. And I said when we first signed Endo, he will lead by example in the cups and help us challenge on all four fronts constantly. Even if he's on the pitch, he'll perform 100%, but even if he's on the bench, he'll be the best cheerleader and friend and supporter you'll ever see. Utter professional. Wataru Endo stays. Also, right, Richard Hughes and Arne Slot probably would have identified gaps in the attributes that Liverpool don't have at the moment. Now, we talk about a left back, great. Midfield controller, right? The Zubamendi prototype, the Angela Stiller prototype, even Angela Stiller extended already, right? Previously Maxence Kakare, but he's moved on to pastures new as well. So, you know, his mentality is questionable, but technically he's fantastic. Douglas Luiz at Juventus looking coming back to Premier League. Jack of all trades. Could you push out for Guimaraes? Unlikely. Newcastle won't play ball. Then you look at the forward line. Now we have the prominent firepower, but if Lucho Diaz is insistent on not signing a contract and going to Barcelona, or Darwin Núñez for whatever reason is replaced as well, although I think it's unlikely at this stage, then the one that really springs to mind really is Anthony Gordon, for the fact that Arne Slot accepted him as an improvement over the current lineup, sacrificing Joe Gomez in that trade-off. He's a Liverpool fan. He plays across the whole front line, and he'll always be effective because of his attributes, his pace, his willingness to make the off-the-ball runs like Núñez, going around the outside, and he can play in all front three positions, including on the right as well, where he did for Everton. So I think Gordon is actually a more flexible pick than Isak, especially value for money in terms of wanting to stay at Liverpool. Because who's to say that Isak isn't of the type that spend 3 or 4 years at the next club and off he goes to Barcelona, Real Madrid, or courting himself out there, even though he's got a good head on his shoulders. There's a bit of an injury record as well, Isak, but you're talking silly money, 150 million plus, because he's on fire at the moment and quality player. But he plays in the left half space, and really, we got Diaz and Gakpo to do that as well, and Núñez and Jota like to sit in there. So it's not the most sensible transfer signing. But once again, Arne Slot and Richard Hughes did say that it's hard to get into this Liverpool squad, and it really, really is. And they're looking at strengthening the signing, which means it must be a prominent player, right? Could it be someone who's well-versed in Musiala in the summer? I don't really want the old heads, right? I don't want the elite players who's on the decline. I want those that have prominent prime playing years in front of him. So Musiala would make a lot of sense in 10 position. There's a lot of space in that 10 position because of the way Szoboszlai plays. It isn't exactly a traditional attacking midfielder or number 10, even though his metrics and assists and goals are going up as well. But look, let's go on to the actual lineup sheet at the moment, and let's look at all the attributes that Liverpool currently have in the squad and where it makes sense to strengthen because of the lack of attributes that we have. Okay, so let's go through the whole Liverpool squad and why it's so strong at the moment, and why I believe that I said that the first transfer window will be quiet because Slot will want to assess the players, not just from what he knows, but see them in training, see how they perform in the pitch, see how they perform when they only have 10 minutes on the odd appearance, see how they perform when they're subbed off, seeing how they perform in the cup fixtures, can they lead the kids, how they perform in Europe, how they perform in terms of injuries with his training coaching style. Then in January, it's opportunistic. But the first big window will be the third transfer window, which is the second summer coming up this summer, where he will make it into his team with a marquee signing and say, this is now real slot ball, slot machine. Premier League, easy, mate. Done it already. Won it. Champions League, easy. We top the league. Hopefully we win the Champions League. Go big ears. 7 Slot. Lucky 7. I'll take that any day. Quadruple. Too early for that, but at least 3 trophies. I said at least 2 trophies, by the way, start of the season. But let's look at the summer transfer window and what we can do. So cool. I'm going to bring us up to the sheet now. Righty, this could potentially take a while, so let's just whistle stop tour and get all the players on here, right? Obviously, best goalkeeper in the world, Alisson Becker. Amadashvili, is it 1 L, 2 L's? Can't remember. Kelleher. No goalkeeper signing incoming because that is a fantastically talented bunch. Pichiluga obviously out. Yaros just behind them. 4th choice makes sense. Kelleher might leave, okay? We have Konate. VVD will sign, by the way. Let's just get that out of the way. He's club captain, fellow Dutchman, important player, leads by example. Slot has praised him profusely, better than he thought. Ball player, leads, all the training sessions, most vocal. Robertson, part of leadership crew, unlikely he goes, even if he's second choice, probably stay. Kostas Tsimikas, great character in the background, best friend of Mo Salah currently, in the absence of Lovren. We got Bradley. Young gun, up-and-comer, wonder kid, super reliable, super talented. Trent, one that's a bit iffy, 50-50 on what he needs to do, but Real Madrid apparently struggling to convince him to go. Who else we got in and amongst the Nalo? Let's just put him for now. Youngster can come in. Kwanzaa is obviously one kid for the future, needs to build on a promising first season, struggling a bit. We've got Special Gravy. Let's put him here for now. Let's abbreviate some people. Now, McConnell is surprising a few. Spelling and whatnot. Let's just whack them in for now. Lucho. And let me know if I'm missing anyone, because obviously this is a hyper quick example going through a lot. I tell you what, if I just put in some of the fringe players for now and youngsters, Then I won't forget the obvious ones like Mo Salah, Egyptian king, running down the wing. No, just scoring. He doesn't run too much these days. Kumas is ones to look out for. Kumas is doing great things on loan, by the way. Cade Gordon really needs to pick up from his initial promise as well. Chiesa gonna make an impact. Jots, jeez. Chiesa. Jota. Elliot. Domi. Schlob. So. Bosley. Maka. For show. Playing between the lines. Jonesy. Cujo. In the middle here, who else we've got? Bacetic coming back as well. Surely we're missing someone here. Let's have a look. Alison Mashvili, Kelleher, Yaros, Nalo, Gomez, Kanate, VD, Kwanzaa, Bradley, Robertson, Simikas. I know we can put players like Beck in left as well, but don't think he's got much prospects in that particular role. Bacetic, I know Inyoni can come in as well. Has played and been preferred. We've got Morton in and around the DM position, right midfield, left midfield. Jones, obviously. Wataru Man to the Endo. Let's just check him in. Wataru Endo. Jones, Soboslai, Elliot, Jota, Chiesa, Salah, Dan's, Cade, Gordon, Nunes, Gakpo, Kumas. Okay, I need to double in, isn't it? Kind of. Let's just look at the Liverpool team sheet lineup. I'm sure I'm missing someone. Liverpool players. Chiesa, Van Dijk, Lucha Diaz, Cody Gakpo, got him in there. Jota, Konate, Soboslai, Trent, Harvey Elliott, Conor Bradley, Queeve, Endo, Robertson, Gomez, and Yoni, Simicas, Yaros, Morton, Harvey Davis. No, I'm not going to put him in for now. Renell Young, Marinello, Kwanzaa, Norris. Yeah, Norris, I guess, deserves to be there. He's made a first appearance, hasn't he? So, Norris. Another one, a left back, I know, has made an appearance as well. Let's go Sipke Holshoff. no Holshoff in there, part of the staff and management team. Let's have a look. Who are we missing? So goalkeepers, Harvey Davis. Defenders, Kwanzaa, Conor Bradley. Midfielders, I feel like we're missing someone. No. Front line, Gakpo, Jota, Nathaniel Phillips, no future. Reece Williams, no future. Calvin Ramsey, potentially future. Right back. Ramsey. Hope he comes back from his injury woes. Bacetic. Doki Doke, that's who I was missing. There we go, discussion around Doki Doke. Now, I've argued with a few people about Doke's potential here, doing great things at Middlesbrough, great assists, metrics as well. But the thing is, he can't cross. He doesn't have the technique on a cross, and his shot lacks massive amount of powers. Now, someone compared him to Coutinho. Difference is Coutinho was coming into a squad where he would be afforded the time to play and work his way into the team, build his technique and shooting technique. Doak really won't get many minutes. You're talking behind Salah first and foremost, but definitely behind Chiesa as well on the right-hand side. And then you might even be behind Lucho, who might go on the right-hand side sometimes, or even a Nunes or Soboslai or Harvey Elliott. To find the time for Ben Doak to realise his potential, I know he's only 19 years old. The thing is, he lacks a cross and he lacks a shooting technique. Elite dribbler, elite mentality, bulldog, thuggish, really rough and tumble in there, direct. But he's got a layoff. He runs in and for a layoff or a cross. His shot has no power. He's got no left foot. He struggles to cross. You really need a Gakpo whipped cross to back post, Salah, Travella, pass, some kind of ability to deliver, to differentiate yourself from just a one-dimensional dribbling threat who looks for a cutback or pullback or square ball. So it's hard to see how he ever becomes a first team member. He might be a valuable squad member, but he deserves probably better than that. So, yeah, questionable his long-term future at Liverpool. But there you go. And the only one that I can think of to add at the moment is Ngumoha, because he's made first-team appearances, actually started for Liverpool as well. Now, what a team right there. Look at that lineup. In fact, I'm going to take a shashin, a picture of that team, because I'm going to put that in my thumbnail, maybe. Just in case I delete that. Okay, so if you're looking at obvious weakness, there's no obvious weakness. We're packed with quality. We've got the best squad in the world, baby. Thereabouts. Real Madrid are pretty strong as well. The thing is, goalkeeper, definitely no. Left back, you're missing a wonder kid left back who can come through the ranks, or someone who adds serious attributes and pace. Now, I identified Anthony Robinson, no long-term sell-on value, but in his prime at the moment. And with that pace, you have a technical left back in Tsimikas. You have the outright pace of Anthony Robinson. But what do you do with Robertson then? He has to be a pseudo centre-back, experimental, and he's a second choice. But you can't really have 3 specialist left backs in the squad because it doesn't work for training. And also, he'll want game time, right? Because he's senior pro. So can't really see it. It has to be someone young. And Kirkesh is more or less a first team left back, right? And he needs the minutes on the pitch. So it's hard to see unless you're aiming for 18 or 19-year-old left back, a Jarell Hatto, 20 years old, kind of player who can play centre back and left back. Then I can't really see it unless the left back, centre back hybrid is someone of the Hincapié mold, not Inacio. Inacio is not good enough at Sporting. So it would really, for me, be Jarell Hatto or bust. Centre back, questionable. You have 4 legitimate first team, first choice centre backs in Van Dijk, Konate, Quansah, and Gomez, right? Don't complain. Konate is imperious, almost Van Dijk levels, but slightly injury prone. Gomez is the best utility, versatile, defensive player in the world, bar none, never complains, valuable member. His centenary 10-year anniversary is coming up at Liverpool. He'll get a proper guard of honour. Quansah, he's a wonder kid, whether you like it or not. Many years to go before he can fill in reliably, consistently, but he needs to pick up that consistency. Gravenberch, special gravy. He is one and done in defensive midfield. No player in the world does what Gravenberch does. Only a prime poor Pogba has claim to be able to do what a Gravenberch does, and prime Paul Pogba was immense, but there is no other prime Paul Pogba at the moment. Even a Rodri doesn't do what Gravenberch does. Gravenberch doesn't do what Rodri does. But once again, top of the top. A controller. We lack a controller. Ever since we lost Thiago Alcantara, our real controllers here are McAllister, McConnell, Morton. Bajcetic is more of a short ball player. Bajcetic is very close to a Zubamendi, although Bajcetic is much slower and I'd say less effective on the ball. But Zubamendi is not a long ball player. He's not a Thiago Alcantara. He's not a Xabi Alonso. He's a short ball player from the base of midfield. Without Endo, Destroyer, good prototype, can fit in at centre back as well. So that also covers the need for centre back. But the fact that Robertson and Endo in a pinch can go into that centre back role, as can Gravenberch, right? Don't underestimate Gravenberch's ability everywhere. My goodness, what a player. And Yoni will grow into that box to box player and can line up at the base as well, and can line up in the 10 as well. He is the wonder kid of wonder kids to really keep an eye on. Maka playing things between the line. Ngomoha will be accelerated into the first team sooner than later because unlike Doki Doke, he has great shot technique. Now, Doke is very direct, cutthroat, in you go. Jink, cut, in, bam. But Ngomoha has legitimate skills and a great shot as well as the dribbling capabilities. I think Ngomoha is probably a higher prospect talent than Doke, but I like Doke a lot. I just don't see the long-term future for him. Elliott, fantastic, 10 game intelligence, great impact. Chiesa, wants to stay at Liverpool, long-term, high caliber, high class. If Diaz leaves, left-sided player. If Nunes leaves, up-front player. But Diaz could be considered up-front player, which leaves room for a left-sided player, unless Kumas comes in second line, because Kumas is showing very promising things as a former striker who now plays on the left with a right foot from the left-hand side. He's got an eye for goal. He smells the goals. His route to goal is very good. Cade Gordon, progression, stopped quite a lot. Depends whether Salah renews. I think Salah and Van Dijk will renew. 2 reasons. Van Dijk is captain of Liverpool. Dutch, no better place. Bigs up Liverpool, wants to stay at Liverpool. We know his importance. Has no logical and no financial sense to let Van Dijk move to pastures new. Van Dijk renews 100% certainty. Nothing in life's 100%, 99.9% certainty. Salah, I think, renews as well. They'll come to an agreement for the fact that Salah wants to break all records, right? And Liverpool is designed and set up for Salah to perform from day one. If Salah goes to another club, now, no doubting Salah's quality and work ethic, but the team have to reshape. They have to build the chemistry, the partnership, the training regime, work to play to Salah's strengths, example, and Salah doesn't have the passing know-how or new with the new teammates to get those assists to rack up that record as well. So Salah stays for the fact that he wants to break all records. He's still an effective player. It'll come down to finances and length of contract, but Liverpool will be stupid to let him go as well. Don't see it. Trent Alexander-Arnold is 50-50 questionable. Where does he want his legacy to lie? It's around legacy against being a legend. Okay, he was always going to be a legend at Liverpool. He's won it all, and he's one of our own. He's the Scouts' heartbeat. But his legacy will be tainted if he leaves in his prime on a free. Okay, number 10 position. I think it'll be a young left back, Jarell Hatto, with potential slotting into the centre as well. It will be a number 10 because Arne Slot was a former playmaker, former attacking midfielder, former number 10, and he will put himself bang, right there. Okay, this player, I think, is going to be a very important player for the slot ball mechanism because it gives Szoboszlai the option to drop into the 8 again, where he's effective in the press, very effective in the press. Also, that 10 will be a playmaking, attacking midfield type, the one who runs late into box consistently, who shoots from distance, who can slide the through balls. As of yet, we do not have a player except maybe a McAllister, Elliott at a push, Salah at a push, and maybe Jota at a push. Szoboszlai, not really. Jota, Maka, Elliott, and to some extent Salah, who will play the through balls from this kind of position, who play that cute through ball, that cute little dink. Do you remember Elliott, right, to Fabio Carvalho in pre-season to open the scoring? Elliott, Maka, maybe Inyoni, possibly. Endo can do it, but Endo won't be that high up. And obviously, it's better playmakers. Maka, Inyoni, Jota can do it between the lines and Salah between the lines, which screams to me that we want a specialist playmaker to unlock the tightest blocks. But keep in mind, they have to work incredibly hard. They have to play between the lines, they have to find the space, and they have to be a metric contributing player. It can't be someone who floats in and around this area, plays well, looks pretty, but doesn't get in amongst the goals. This guy has to get the 10 goals and 10 assists every season, season upon season, and they're hard to find, and they're going to be super, super expensive. You're looking at Florian Wirtz, you're looking at Jamal Musiala, that caliber of player. There are a few other wonder kids, which I will show you in this Salesforce Grand database, which has scope to really, really scale because it's future-proof. The mechanisms and the logic and algorithms are all there. I just plug in the data for those players and add those additional fields per position, which I will do. So I think a number 10 will come in, and depending on sales, Lucho, Nunes, particularly looking at them too, it could be a left winger, forward hybrid. My money's on Anthony Gordon fulfilling that, but you could look at your Antoine Semenyo, or you could look at your Brian Mbeumo as well. So yeah, that is the predictions. But ultimately, I think Slot will look for a controller, a 10. That's a controller. So just for the sake of completeness, let's put these names in. And for this player, there's two players that stand out very much that I think going under the radar that could play in an Arne Slot system in that role. Okay, two players. This could potentially be an Edison as well, by the way. Edison's a very good player, or Douglas Luiz, Premier League proven. But let's just for fun, put in Musiala for now. Wirtz, I'd love Wirtz, but maybe Musiala is got a good relation to Bayern Munich, right? Thank you for Gravenberg. Thiago Alcantara, that kind of thing. So looking at that is ready to title challenge and compete on all four fronts as well. If a Salah goes, it's got to be someone who can really, really reach those heights, whether it's a Semenyo, whether it's an Mbeumo, right? Bakayoko is linking himself, Johan Bakayoko. Obviously, we play PSV right now, but I don't think he's on the same level as a Semenyo and an Mbeumo at the moment. So very, very interesting to see, or Anthony Gordon. But yeah, the squad is well placed. Arne Slot has great tools and great players and great attributes to play with. Richard Hughes has lots and lots of wiggle room to sell for financial fair play to get maximized value, and only sell them if we get that value for Lucho Diaz. We're not playing easy ball with Barcelona. We'll squeeze them for every penny, especially they got a big, is it Nike or Adidas? I can't remember, sponsorship deal. It might be Nike coming from Barcelona as well. Anyone who wants our players will pay a premium. Michael Edwards, Julian Ward, Richard Hughes, Slick Rick in the background. Trust them. They're doing great things, and Hughes talks to Slot every single day. Slot intrinsically trusts Hughes. As long as Slot is happy, I'm happy. As long as we're performing the pitch, everyone's happy. It's a great time to be a Liverpool fan. Back the Reds. Like this video, really, really like, interact. I comment to every reply personally. Sorry, I've been a bit under the weather, recovering from the surgery, as you know. But thank you, everyone. The best way to support this channel is through YouTube membership. Here's what you get in the member section. Also, I'll do a kit unveiling after the membership veiling as well, because yes, I love my kits. So let's get into it, and I'll give you a little pointer as to one of the potential players I think could fill in the 10 slot as well. So watch until the end of the video. Thank you so much. The best way to support the channel is through YouTube membership. Becoming a member will give you exclusive access to my tactical masterclass videos, as well as translations and analysis on Endo's book Duel, his vlogs, and my uncensored thoughts on other content creators. Each new member brings me closer to buying new Liverpool kits for Mushroom Boy Ato and Triple Me Mia as they grow up. The Wonder Kid tier gives you priority reply to your comments, as I will see the endo emoji next to your name, as well as invites to live meet and greets in the future. Member only polls for video ideas and custom emojis in chat for just under £3, cheaper than a Mackie D's triple cheese brunch and more fulfilling too. In the LFIJ All-Stars tier, you get early access to videos, member shoutouts in videos, Japanese snacks, and a custom commissioned Christmas card with my handwritten personal message to you for under £9. And in the Emperor Endo tier, me love you long time. Jump on for a 15-minute chat whenever suits every month and let's collab on Liverpool. Up the Reds! All members get exclusive access to the LFIJ lounge on Discord for that juicy and spicy banter in private, an exclusive member number and nickname that will go on your commission goodie, yours to keep forever. So what are you waiting for? Join the membership and be part of the best community worldwide. And as I said, I would be opening a piece of kit. This is getting pretty skint right now because I opened kit throughout the whole of last year. As you know, I've been making videos the whole of last year. 1 year old. I got one right here. Let's looky. What have we got? Looking forward to this one. Alrighty, this is Hajime no Ippo. This is not a Liverpool kit. This is a weeby kit. So put that to the side for now. I'm sure I have other kits as well, but this has actually gone empty. So alrighty, we'll do kits next time. I'll find the other kits. And number 10, right? So there's a few thoughts of practice here. So I will give you the whole list of number 10s, attacking midfielders and playmakers in between the lines in the next Salesforce transfer database video. However, a few to keep an eye on actually reside in the Premier League, right? So Lucas Paqueta, highly coveted by Manchester City. But now that they got Omar Mamouche, I think is a non-starter because they play in very, very similar positions behind the striker, unless Mamouche goes on a wing, but he's less effective from out wide unless he's inside forward as well. They got Mateusz Nunes, who plays in that position. Kovacic likes playing in that position, as does Foden, De Bruyne as well. So I can't really see Paqueta going there. Paqueta would be a really interesting one, but he's got that gambling ordeal hanging over his head. So don't know if that's a starter. But his teammate, Mohamed Kudus, right? Prominently a wide player, but he's doing good things in a 10. He's a live wire, a crack, can score the odd spectacular goal. Reminds me a little bit of Luis Garcia with pace. Not the most consistent, but constant threat. You always got to keep an eye on him because he can do the unpredictable. He'd be an excellent one. He's a little bit of an unpolished gem. He cost a lot of money. West Ham did good to take a gamble from him from Ajax. Good player for sure. Semenyo, former striker, now winger, plays a 10 position as well, but less likely. I think more of a signing for the wing. But one winger who's gone into the 10 position is Eberechi Eze. Eze, right? Unlike Michael Olise, who would have been a fantastic signing, doing good things at Bayern Munich. Eze is homegrown, counts homegrown, England international, really tricky, really skillful. Foden loves Eze, as does Cole Palmer. Cole Palmer loves Eze. In fact, everyone loves Eze. Seems like a good young man, good kid. Seems like, really fits the Liverpool personality, and he could really grow. He would be a really interesting one that I think could unlock a few doors. He's obviously Crystal Palace's main man, won't come cheap. But he's a good player, and he's a really, really good player. And these three really could step up to the next level. So you're almost looking at a kind of Sadio Mane at Southampton, now Premier League proven, higher price tag. But this Liverpool squad is brimming with quality. You don't really need to take the risk. You pay that added premium for the person who can score the odd goal, the unexpected goal, the 1-0 breakthrough, right? Kudus can do it with a shot. Paqueta can do it through a pass or through Tekers. And Eze, bit of magic, moment of magic himself, dribbling through the lines, beating 1, beating 2, 1-2 through the lines, late run as well. He'd be ideal. These are only the Premier League options. There's lots of options out there internationally, but to look for the right quality at 10, only 2 or 3 names, I think, apart from the usual ones, and we'll look at the transfer database to sort those out. So thank you so much. Like the video, comment below who you would like to see coming in as well. And do you back Richard Hughes? Do you have renewed faith in FSG? FSG aren't really involved anymore. It's more Michael Edwards' show now. So let me know in the comments below. Until next time, let's win this weekend. Big, pivotal weekend. Arsenal against Manchester City. Us against Bournemouth, right? Let's smash them. Peace. Jane means ciao.